$50 on an indulgent 2-hour mani-pedi combo at Sage Spa.
Number 2.
Pointer Sisters, live August 23rd.
And the number 1 reason.
We're giving away a Jeep Gladiator and $5,000 in promo chips at 10 p.m. the 31st. Earn entries now. Be here at 10 p.m. on the 31st to win.
Morongo, good times.
The biggest show on the radio.
Mason in Ireland tomorrow at noon after Travis and DeMarco.
All right, you know what job I'd be really good at, Emily? Peanut vendor. I'd throw them behind my back and throw them, peanuts, who needs peanuts? And I'd be loud.
Yes.
I'm loud to everybody else. I'm obnoxious.
Yes.
I got a good arm. I can whip peanuts at you from...
How are you with stairs?
Great.
A lot of stairs.
Why not?
Okay.
Let's go.
The OGs of LA Sports Talk.
Mason in Ireland on 710.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A Good Karma Brands radio station. This is Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN.
Where Lakers fans tap in for all the latest surrounding the purple and gold.
As far as where we go moving forward, LeBron always talks about being comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think this season may be a lot of that for LeBron and the Lakers. And I think for what it's worth, if people are looking for a little optimism, I think it's something both sides can pull off.
It's an off-season edition of Lakers Talk on 710.
Because at the end of the day, LeBron's goals and the Lakers' goals for next season are win as many games as possible, even if the methodology may not totally align.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk is on.
Here's Andy Kamenetzky.
What is up, Lakers fans? This is Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, ESPN LA 710. We are back at our normal-ish, semi-permanently-ish scheduled time, 6 to 8 Monday nights on ESPN LA 710. Appreciate, as always, everybody listening, everybody watching on the YouTube stream, everybody that follows us around to our different time slots, the traveling circus that we often are. Again, very, very much appreciate it. Got 2 awesome guests lined up for tonight at 6:30. Pete Zayas is going to stop by. He is the co-host of the Lakers Film Room podcast, my favorite Lakers podcast that is not my own. My own, by the way. Locked on Lakers, available everywhere you get your podcast 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, always free, never behind a paywall. And for the sickos who like to watch, there is a YouTube component. But
That might be technically the fastest plug.
The fastest plug ever.
you know what, though? It was actually, I think, very magnanimous and generous of me, because the setup for plugging myself was actually complimenting Pete Zayas and Lakers Film Room, which really is my favorite non-me
He
Lakers.
really does a good podcast.
Oh, it's great. I mean, and look, there are many, many Lakers podcasts out there that I enjoy. I often plug them on this show, plug them on my own show. But Pete and Darius Soriano, I think, do some of the smartest and most entertaining Lakers coverage out there. So we're going to talk with Pete at 6:30 about the offseason, and Marcus Smart, who Pete is very excited about the Lakers about to sign. It is not official yet, but is going to be happening any day now. Then at 7:30, Domin Rangula, he's going to join. He is a favorite among Lakers fans and Lakers Twitter, diehard Laker fan, and a really, really smart, funny Lakers follow. You can follow him on Twitter at DamanR, DamanR. So that's at 7:30. There's a lot to get into. We're almost a month into the Lakers offseason. Things are starting to settle down, I think, both with the Lakers and also around the league. Lakers still active, I think, and they're still looking to try to make other moves if they can. But for the time being, I think the dust is settling a little bit, so that makes it a good time to take stock at how things are stacking up for the Lakers, where things stand. There's also Dame Lillard returning to the Blazers, which I think is a really cool story, and also touches, I think, a little bit on LeBron's comments from earlier this month about ring culture being too much of the be-all, end-all in NBA culture, NBA analysis, often not just among fans, but even the former players who cover the league. And even if you think there's a little bit of self-servingness in the way LeBron frames this, he still may have a point. So we may talk a little bit of Dame. Christian Koloko may be around with the Lakers a little bit longer, so we're going to talk about that. But we're going to begin with Marcus Smart, who will reportedly join the Lakers as soon as he clears waivers upon a buyout with the Wizards. I think that could happen maybe tomorrow at some point. I don't know the exact amount of time that it takes for somebody to clear waivers, but nobody is
about 48 hours.
48 hours. So that should be any day now. Marcus Smart is not going to get claimed. He was making almost $22 million. Nobody is going to claim him off that salary. So he's going to clear, and I believe first reported by either Shams Charania of ESPN or Mark Stein of the Stein Line that Marcus Smart agreed to a 2-year, $11 million deal with the Lakers. The second year is a player option. It is basically the use of the biannual exception. It required a bit of maneuvering for the Lakers. It meant waiving Shake Milton, which was expected to happen one way or another, independent of Marcus Smart or whoever. It was expected that by yesterday's deadline, the guarantee date, that the Lakers will either have traded Shake Milton or they would have waived him. So that was not a surprise. Jordan Goodwin, though, who from everything I've heard or sensed the Lakers in a perfect world wanted to keep, they had to let him go as well. They had to waive Jordan Goodwin to make room for the entire biannual exception to be available for Marcus Smart. I don't think it's something the Lakers wanted to do. I definitely know it's something that I hear from Lakers fans at Cam Brothers on Twitter that they didn't like seeing it happen. I understand why. I've been a big fan of Jordan Goodwin. I was pretty openly critical of J.J. Redick not playing him more during the postseason. I think Jordan played well, and I think J.J. should have trusted him more. But I even understand the idea of this being the cost of doing business. We'll get into this. But I really like the Marcus Smart pickup. I like this a lot. I think this is a really good piece of business for the Lakers in part of what I think has been a pretty good offseason for Rob Pelinka. Something else I may discuss a little bit more at length. I know it's something I'm going to talk about with Domin Rangula. The Lakers have been severely lacking for defenders of opposing guards and small forwards, and that is Marcus Smart's calling card. He is the 2022 Defensive Player of the Year. And by the way, that is a rare honor, Defensive Player of the Year, for non-bigs. It is typically an award that goes to centers and power forwards. It is kind of unusual for wings and then in particular guards to win it. Marcus Smart has made 3 all-defensive teams. He's got a lot of defensive intensity, intelligence, strength, physical and mental. Just there's a tenacity to the way Marcus Smart plays. He really gets after it defensively. He brings that energy and that mindset that I think can be infectious across a defense. I think it can help stabilize a defense. I don't think Marcus Smart will stabilize the Lakers' defense by himself. Like, that's too big of an ask for any player, and I think it should be remembered. We may not be getting peak Marcus Smart anymore. Between aging, he is, I believe, 31 years old, and some recent injuries. Like, the expectations of peak Marcus Smart may be too much to ask for, but he is still an effective defender. His most recent defensive metrics grade out really well. He is a decided upgrade over many and close to all of the options that the Lakers currently had on their roster to shore up the defense, but also, too, and I think this is really important, bring some balance to the Lakers roster, to the lineups, to the floor combinations, all that stuff. Like, I've talked a lot on previous episodes of Lakers Talk about the need to find more two-way presences, more two-way balance in the starting lineup and with the bench. Like, the Lakers have had a lot of players who work primarily one way, either primarily on offense or primarily on defense. And, you know, in the case of LeBron and Luka, Rui, maybe even DeAndre Ayton with some matchups, you got a lot of guys who guard basically the same positions, basically 4s and 5s. And the Lakers have needed more versatility, more skill sets, more variety. And I think Smart is going to help that in a really important area. I do not think Marcus Smart equals a two-way player. I talked before about the need to bring in two-way players, and I don't think Marcus Smart qualifies there. So people are prepared. He is a very inefficient scorer and a very inefficient shooter. He's averaged 39% from the field for his career, 32% from behind the arc. He has been a double-digit scorer a few seasons in his career, but it's always been pretty inefficiently done. He will have some shot selection or some sequences offensively that you're going to have to live with. It's part of the Marcus Smart experience. But I do think he is more than a one-way player. I would consider Marcus Smart like a 1.5-way player because I think he brings enough playmaking to the mix that he has offensive utility. Like, he has averaged, I believe, about 4.5 assists per game throughout his career, about 5.5 per 36 minutes. He has led the Celtics in a few different seasons in assist percentage. So he's somebody that's been pretty good at finding teammates when he has the ball, keeping guys involved. I think that could be really important with this team, like as far as just keeping the wheels greased offensively. There can be times where actually I think LeBron and Luka and Austin can space out around Marcus Smart. Not that they would have Marcus Smart run entire sets, but just the idea that he gets the ball, those guys move to different spots, he can find them.
He's not a liability offensively. Right. He's not a liability. Like, he'll be able to put the ball on the floor here and there, like you said, create some shots for them. Right. He's not an offensive liability. Like, you're gonna have to respect him at some point when he's shooting a 3-ball.
Well, I mean, he'll take it.
We were talking about this before the game, before the show too. I mean, he's a 31% 3-point shooter. I mean, he could still make it, though.
Well, I mean, that's not good.
It's not good.
that's not.
It's not good, but like, it's enough to where, like, okay, I kind of got to close out, and he could put the ball on the floor and get others open. But that's the sole reason why the Lakers signed us, because they needed a guy on the defensive end to set the tone.
Absolutely.
Set the damn tone. Because they had nobody on that defensive end of the floor that can at least keep somebody in front, and he will be able to do that. He can switch. He can go into the bigger forwards. Like, that's what the Lakers need. They need a guy like Marcus Smart who's going to dive on the floor.
Marcus Smart has a career high for three-pointers made in a game, 11.
And that was over one game, not like 3 games, 4 games, 5 games?
One game, Andy. So take that.
Wait, Marcus Smart made 11 threes
in one game.
Are you sure he didn't take 11?
No, this happened in 2020.
Okay, I am going to verify this.
Put some respect on Marcus Smart.
Put some respect on him, Andy.
I'm not trying to put disrespect on Marcus Smart's name. Like, Kobe's career high for a game was like 12, and that was a record for a long time. Like, with all sincere respect to Marcus Smart, 11 threes in one game for a career 32% shooter, I'm going to need to verify that. Like, in the same way that I know that Corey Brewer once put up a 50-piece.
Corey Brewer, man.
But
bitty piece.
Every time I bring this up with Corey Brewer, I still check it, even though I know it's accurate, because Corey Brewer averaged, I think, like 9 points a game for his career. Like, I know Tony Delk did this. Like, I know there are guys who did this.
You'd be hating on Tony Delk.
I like Tony Delk. What was he? 0 or double zero?
Double zero Celtics.
Yeah. I mean, like, I like Tony Delk. Corey Brewer was such a good, cool guy when he was with the Lakers. I love covering him. I still have to verify that he put up 50 because that is so out of character for Corey Brewer, who once had a pet goat. It's a true story. He had a pet goat. All right, coming up, though, how should the Lakers use Marcus Smart? Should he be a starter coming up next season? Also, too, does Marcus Smart equal a good sign for the Lakers' future with Luka Dončić moving forward? Get into all that coming up next. Plus, your calls 877-710-ESPN. Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
Hack your summer with awe and awesome at SeaWorld San Diego. Get real close to over 9,000 animals. Be wowed at the all-new Jewels of the Sea, the Jellyfish Experience. Now open. Race at unreal speeds across over 16,000 feet of coaster track. Be amazed at the reimagined Journey to Atlantis, opening soon. Make summer spectacular with high-thrill shows, concerts, and fireworks. Now through September 1st at SeaWorld. Save up to 65% on tickets, fun cards, and passes during our summer sale. Hurry, offer ends soon. Taxes, fees, blackout dates, and other restrictions may apply.
Hey, it's Mace. In tough times, a lot of people find themselves owing money to the IRS. It can really weigh you down, and you're confused about the right way to handle it. And all those scary ads on the radio about the IRS, they don't help. Tax relief advocates want you to relax, knowing that whether you owe $5,000, $50,000, $500,000 in tax debt, you don't have to fear the IRS another day. TRA has a proven 3-step tax resolution process, plus they're experts at working with special programs available from the IRS to help taxpayers get back on track. Easy to see why they have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. If you owe money to the IRS and feel trapped, don't lose hope. Tax relief advocates could reduce or even eliminate your debt. End your tax nightmare today. Simply visit TRA.com or call 800-575-1482. That's 800-575-1482. Again, 800-575-1482.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
710 ESPN.
The radio home of the purple and gold and the home of Lakers talk.
If I had to bet right now, LeBron will be a Laker next season, and he will finish out next season with the Lakers, and wherever things go from there, who knows? Now, is it impossible that LeBron will end up somewhere else? No, but it still feels like the most likely outcome.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
Cali, I'm going back to Cali. I don't think so. I'm going back to Cali.
Less Than Zero.
Yes.
This song always reminds me of Less Than Zero, the movie.
Great movie. Good book, too.
Great book. Great book. Love the book Less Than Zero. Brett Easton Ellis. Andy Kamenetzky, Lakers Talk. ESPN LA 710. Before getting to this question of how the Lakers should use the soon-to-be officially acquired Marcus Smart, couple bits of business. First of all, Bunchy, you are correct. I looked it up. Marcus Smart did, in fact, once hit 11. He hit 11 threes in a game. What's even more bonkers, he took 22.
Yep.
Oh,
a Celtic record, too.
Right. Okay, first of all, again, I stand corrected. Marcus Smart, I'm not trying to take this achievement away from you. Good on you, my man. I'm telling you right now, if Marcus Smart makes a habit of taking 22 threes in a game, Laker fans are going to be really irritated by this.
We made 11 of them. That's 50%.
He is a 30.
There's 50.
He is
50.
I can't get around that. It is 50%. I can't get around it. He is a 32% career three-point shooter. I'm telling you, you're not going to like it if he makes a habit of this. I mean, 22 shots is a lot of shots. Like, forget threes. That's a lot of shots.
And especially for, like, Marcus Smart, as far as his
I got to look at that box score. How many shots did he take that overall? Like 30?
He took 25.
Wow. So 22 of those 25 shots were three-pointers.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Yep. And, oh, wow. This is amazing. This also gets to what I was saying before about the inefficiency of Marcus Smart as a scorer. I just noted he went well, no, this may not be the same game. I apologize. This may not. I got to find the actual box score because it was looking like he went 11 of 22 in a game where he also went 13 of 25 from the field. I got to double check to make sure they're part of the same game, because otherwise that would mean that he essentially went like 1 of 13 from inside the arc. So let me see very quickly if I
No,
can.
I think I'm looking at it right now. He hit 13 of 25 shots.
Wow. So that means that Marcus Smart went one. I guess he went 1 of 3. 1 of 3 from anywhere else. So I guess it was a pretty efficient day for Marcus Smart. Again, you do not want him taking.
Every dog has his day.
Every dog has his day, and he is a dog, man. He's a dog when he's out on the court. You do not want him taking 22 threes on an even semi-regular basis. Also, want to let people know, Christian Coloco was just inked to a new two-way deal with the Lakers, along with a guy named Eric Mannon, guard from Vanderbilt. I'm not going to pretend I know a thing about him. He played with the Warriors Summer League team. I know the Lakers played a couple games again. I do not remember Eric Mannon at all. From Dan Wojcicki, who covers the Lakers for The Athletic, word on Chris Mannon is he's a high-level defender with a smart player with a great motor who, quote, plays the right way, value as a two-way signing in their developmental program. I'm happy to see Christian Coloco stick around. Trey Jemison was just waived.
Oh.
Devo! He always looked, whenever Trey Jemison was on the court, he always looked like he was about to break something. Like the floor, the rim, another player, like whatever. He always just looked like he was on the verge of breaking
like
something.
Tiny Lister.
Yeah.
He's Tiny Lister.
They got one more two-way spot available. I think for a while it had been presumed it was going to be for Eric Dixon, a big man from Villanova.
Played one in the Summer League.
Yeah, well, no, he got hurt. He didn't play.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
He didn't play in the Summer League at all. So I think that might be up in the air. But they're going to be keeping Coloco around, which I like. I like Coloco's potential. I wanted him active during the playoffs. I asked Rob Pelinka directly about it and got a very unsatisfactory non-answer. But I like the idea that Coloco is still going to be with the team. But back to Marcus Smart. I feel like he should be in the starting lineup. That if I had control over this, I would start Marcus Smart. Unless someone like Jared Vanderbilt can rediscover some offensive utility, and I guess J.J. Redick's trust, and for what it's worth, Vando's been posting IG videos of him working out, and he said that this is the first offseason he's had in years where he's not rehabbing something or recovering from something. So maybe that puts him in a better offensive rhythm, but it has not felt like J.J. Redick has trusted him. He's really struggled in particular, I think, as a finisher around the rim. For all the focus on Vando not having an outside shot, I think the bigger problem is he doesn't finish. Like, he does not play well around the rim. And for somebody
Not like you expect him to.
No, not for somebody
You know?
with his activity level and his offensive rebounding skills and his athleticism, he should be better at that, and he hasn't been. But if it's not going to be Vando, I think it should be Smart, because the lineups, I think both the starting lineup and the bench units, they need rebalancing. And I think that's where Marcus Smart comes in. I would start him for Rui with a starting lineup of Luka, Austin, Marcus Smart, LeBron, DeAndre Ayton. It cuts down on some redundancy, even just between the guys who had been out there and some of the similar players that they would be looking to guard with Marcus Smart. You get another player out there that is legitimately capable of guarding 1 through 3. It does not, to me, feel like a typical 3-guard lineup, because Luka is huge for a guard. Like, he's not even small for a small forward. Like, Luka is a big guy. Luka does not get pushed around particularly often. Like, Luka can guard 4s. So to me, having Luka out there with Marcus Smart, who is, I believe, 6'3", 220, strong as hell, and really long, he's been able to guard up. And Austin, if he's your smallest guy in a lineup like that, he's not particularly small. I don't think that's a 3-guard lineup that's untenable. I would like to see Marcus Smart out there as a point of attack defender, as somebody who can take on an opponent's best wing, just to provide more of that versatility and that energy, that intensity. I also think Rui would help juice a second unit that has really, really struggled for points, for scoring options. I also think that now that you've added DeAndre Ayton to the starting lineup, I don't think Rui's going to get utilized enough anyway. Like between LeBron, Luka, Austin, and now DeAndre Ayton, like I feel like they didn't often get Rui enough shots last year when it was like Jackson Hayes and DFS as the guys he was competing for shots with. I think if he's in a starting lineup with those other four guys, he's going to kind of disappear as it is. I think you're going to actually get more utility out of him coming off the bench.
I don't know, man. I think I look at it as a size purpose for Rui because he took on a lot. I always think about that Denver series where, you know, they try to match him up with Jokic and stuff like that. His size can be used really, really well. It's just a matter of putting him in the right spots, and I think that JJ Redick will do that going into the season. I believe Marcus Smart will be better off the bench for the Lakers because as far as you want to talk about energy, you want to talk about, you know, tenacity and hustle, like he'll bring that spark off the bench, whether it's for a quick minute or subbing out Austin Reeves, because if you want to have that three-guard lineup with Luka and Austin Reeves, I mean, honestly, they're liability on defense. Like as far as the defensive end, Austin Reeves does not guard well, and Luka Dončić does not guard well either. And I feel like if you put those two along with Marcus Smart, yes, you can be the point of attack defender for Marcus Smart. But Rui is that guy who you can get more out of defensively, and he can rebound. So Rui Dončić is a good rebounder as well. Don't get me wrong, but like I feel like the weakest link in that is Austin Reeves.
Okay, now this is what's really interesting with Reeves, and it's something we can talk about more as the show goes along because we're going to be bringing in Pete Zayas from Lakers Film Room Podcast in a few minutes. I can see the argument, at least on paper, for playing Austin off the bench, like in terms of just balancing different units, balancing different skill sets, offsetting different weaknesses of different players. I think, though, the Lakers, from a basketball perspective, I think they're going to want to start Austin. But I also think from a small P politics standpoint, with Austin going into a contract year, and it is pretty clear they want to lock up Austin long term. I feel like, frankly, if they didn't, they should have traded him by now. Like if that's not what they want, even if down the road they think Austin could be part of a package for star X, Giannis, Jokic, whoever, it's pretty clear they want to lock up Austin. There's going to be a lot of teams with cap space this offseason. And if Austin is unhappy about his role or even interprets it as the Lakers trying to deflate his market value come free agency, I think there's a decent chance. There's a risk he could bounce.
He's got to play well, though, too. It's on his end as well. He's got to play well. He's playing for his contract. So it's more on his end, too, than just the Lakers in general.
Oh, for sure. For sure. But I can see the argument for it. There's a part of me that isn't even – we can talk about it later in the show. There's a part of me that isn't that interested in going too deep into it just because I don't think the Lakers would do it. So because I think it is so unlikely that they would do it, it almost feels like a waste of time getting into the pros and cons. But we can get into that later. And actually, it's something that I can ask Pete Zayas about coming up next from Lakers Film Room Podcast. I know he is super excited for the Marcus Smart acquisition, so we can get into that and some other stuff. Again, Pete Zayas coming up next. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
The biggest show on the radio.
Mason in Ireland tomorrow at noon after Travis and DeMarco.
All right, you know what job I'd be really good at, Emily? Peanut vendor. I'd throw them behind my back and throw them, peanuts, who needs peanuts? And I'd be loud.
Yes.
I'm loud everybody else. I'm obnoxious.
Yes.
I got a good arm. I can whip peanuts at you from...
How are you with stairs?
Great.
A lot of stairs.
Why not?
Okay.
Let's go.
The OGs of LA Sports Talk.
Mason and Ireland on 710.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News and World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Flashy discounts, gimmicky sales? Don't fall for it. At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, we give you honest, wholesale pricing all year long. No bogus markups, no tricks, just the best floors at the best prices. Call 866-62-FLOOR. No sale beats wholesale. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, check them out at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
For the best prices on hardwood carpet and more, call 866-62-FLOOR.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk continues on 710 ESPN.
This is about LeBron knowing that he is no longer the center of a purple and gold universe, and he doesn't like it. There have been signs leading up to this, like LeBron was kept out of the loop with the Luka deal, which sent out his close friend and fellow Clutch client, Anthony Davis, to Dallas. It's a sign that it was not considered mandatory to keep him in the loop.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
So what you want me to do? I'm expressing with my full capabilities, and now I'm living in correctional facilities. Cause some don't agree with how I do this. I get straight and meditate like a Buddhist. I'm dropping flavor, my behavior is hereditary, but my technique is very necessary. Blame it on ice.
Trying to see how long we go before you got to bleep something,
You
DeAndre.
got a subject and a predicate. Add it on a
What's the clean version? Oh, this is the clean version. Okay, DeAndre was up on the NWA and how to play it right here on Lakers Talk. ESPN LA 710. Really excited to bring on my first guest, Pete Zayas, the host, co-host, I should say, of the Lakers Film Room podcast. He and Darius Soriano, I said it before, I'll say it again. Many quality Lakers podcasts out there, many that I actively talk up, but Lakers Film Room is my favorite podcast about the Lakers that does not involve me as a host. Follow Pete on Twitter at Laker Film Room. Pete, man, how are you?
Doing very well, Andy. Been an interesting Lakers offseason. Looking forward to talking about it with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like I said, I am an avid Lakers Film Room podcast listener. I am very well aware that you had been earmarking Marcus Smart as a hopeful Lakers acquisition. He had been on your radar. I know you are excited about this. Why?
Because it helps the Lakers in an area they very much need. So if you look at the four finalists the four conference finalists that made the 25 conference finals, and then let's add Boston and Denver to that group. Top 6 teams in the league, I would say, this year. All 6 of them, Andy, start at least 2 players who are good to great at defending on the ball on the perimeter. Last year, when the Lakers got to the playoffs, they had 0 players who fit that description. And so the addition of Marcus Smart allows the Lakers to play conventional defensive coverages. They at least have one guy now that can do that can start. We will see if he starts or Rui starts or kind of what happens there. But it gives the Lakers the capacity to just be normal on the defensive end and have sort of the full range of defensive options available to them, the different defensive coverages that you need to beat Minnesota, but then face a totally different team in the second round. And so I'm really fingers crossed. Now, Marcus Smart was also an old draft crush of mine, and it kills me that the Celtics drafted him 1 pick before the Lakers, and so that certainly adds to it. But it's really that type of player the Lakers desperately needed but didn't have.
Okay, I got some other questions for you about Marcus Smart, but you just mentioned the concept of him potentially starting, that question of whether the Lakers should do it or not, but also you had specifically mentioned Rui as the guy that Marcus Smart would take his place, and we were just talking about this. Rui is who I actually also see as the most natural guy for Smart to theoretically start for in terms of rebalancing, I think, not just the defensive integrity of the lineup, but also some of the defensive assignments. Is he the natural guy to you? And is there anybody else, like, frankly, Austin? I hear a lot of it shouldn't be Rui, it should be Austin, or it should be Rui and Austin with somebody else. But how do you think the Lakers should approach this if they're going to start Smart?
So I think it's very unlikely that Austin goes to the bench. I do think that there is a broader theoretical argument for it if you had that second point of attack defender to replace Austin. But really the best options the Lakers have are Gabe and Vando, which I wouldn't replace Austin with them because you have some offensive issues that come into the picture after that. And so if we had a really high-end 3-and-D wing or something like that, I'd be more behind the Austin off the bench, give you some offensive pop. You already have two ball handlers on the floor with Luka and LeBron. I totally get that. But, yeah, I see Austin less as a candidate in that respect. You could argue for Rui, but, again, Rui has already been sort of playing out of position. He was the guy that had to learn how to play the three last year. The three, it was his first season where he had that job full-time, and he got a lot better at it. But he doesn't have the natural agility side to side to navigate fighting over the top of a screen, for example. The pick and roll is such a ubiquitous play in the NBA that how well you can defend that and sort of the tools you have to do that. That's what Marcus Smart does for a living, is fight over the top of pick and rolls. And you have to do that 50, 100 times a game, in a regular game, to get through a game. That asking Rui to do that, that's not really his job. You know what I mean? And then, well, are we going to ask Luka to do that? Are we going to ask LeBron to do that? No, not them either. And so it's sort of a numbers game that really all roads for me kind of point to Smart. But I do think it's going to be some interesting discussions over the offseason.
What would you need to see from Jared Vanderbilt to potentially be that guy, or I guess maybe even the plan on how to utilize Jared Vanderbilt if, say, you were going to go in a different direction than Smart, but you were going to try to attempt, and I think this is really important, you would agree, to find some rebalancing of offensive and defensive balance in that starting unit, and frankly with the bench as well?
Yeah, that's such an interesting question. Remember when Vando got to the Lakers, the lineup that he really thrived in was him and the best four offensive players on the team. It was him, D'Lo, Austin, LeBron, and AD. And I think that that's important with Vando, is that he's surrounded by enough offensive talent to sort of counterbalance the main question that we're 3-4 years into his tenure with the Lakers. Andy, I still don't know what to do with him on offense. Like, what does he do best on the offensive end? He can do some DHO, fake handoff stuff. There are scenarios you can get him in. And one thing I'm excited about with this team is I do think they have the ability to be a power team, like very physical on the perimeter, on the interior. Ayton is a mountain, that they can be really physical, where players like Jared Vanderbilt can thrive in that environment because they're sort of the second wave of, like, Ayton takes out two people and it's an easy putback for Vando type of thing. And so I think Vando is probably the team's most lineup sensitive player that they have. And so I think with him, it's more about finding what those best groups are, which I think is surrounding him with offensive talent. And then first offseason he's had in a few years where he hasn't been hurt. He actually gets to work on his game. And so does that yield any progress there? That's kind of where I'm at with him.
Talking with Pete Zayas, the co-host of the Lakers Film Room podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at Laker Film Room. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, ESPN LA 710. I mean, to me, I guess the answer for Vando would be just become a better finisher. Like, I think if he just became more consistent finishing around the rim, you could live with some of the other imperfections, but that's more of a he needs to figure it out than I think a scheming thing or something different for JJ to figure out. It's up to Vando to figure it out. What do you make of the Lakers offseason so far? It's essentially Dorian Finney-Smith, Jordan Goodwin, Shake Milton, Alex Len, to whatever degree he counts, out, and DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, Adu Tiero in, plus the return of Jackson Hayes.
I'm thrilled with it because going into the offseason, they had glaring needs at the starting 2 spot and the starting 5 especially. And I was looking at the assets that they had to get that. Remember, with DFS still on the books, or at least them holding his rights, they only had access to the taxpayers' MLE, which is about $5.7 million. And so the first move of free agency is, oh no, DFS is leaving. And now one of the 5 guys that Reddick trusted when it all came down to it is gone. Now we're down to 4. But they were able to fill that slot. There's no question about Ayton's talent. They got a legitimate starting center at the 5 spot, talent-wise. You don't have to squint your eyes or put him in a time machine where 5 years ago they were starting center. No, he's good now. Comes with questions, of course, but he's legitimately fills that spot. We talked earlier about how Smart plays a very specific role that's common and important in the NBA. That's what he does for a living. Now, I do think they need to make upgrades to their bench, but the reason why I'm thrilled with this offseason is they still have all of the assets that would be necessary to actually go out and acquire that. Now, they want to keep cap space open for next summer and all of that and kind of have these self-imposed restrictions. We'll see what they do. But now they're at least within the realm of they have enough assets to be able to, I think, get a couple of bench players to put them over the top. And so I didn't think they could get to this point, Andy, without – I didn't think they could get 2 starters, essentially, without trading or giving anything up. So now that they have I have a lot more hopes about this upcoming season.
Okay, speaking of that idea of a next move, we're talking with Pete Zayas, the co-host of the Lakers Film Room podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at Laker Film Room, Andy Kamenetzky, Lakers Talk, ESPN LA 710. There's been a lot of chatter, whether within the media, Lakers fans, I think prompted in part by the messaging from LeBron and Rich Paul after LeBron opted in, but also these reports of a 2027 plan that you just referenced, or even 2026, the idea of keeping the powder and essentially the cap sheet dry and flexible for these off seasons that would include theoretical big game hunting. Like, some of this feels, for better or for worse, like the star effery that we've just come to expect from the Lakers. But, like, putting aside the idea of whether or not you like this as an approach, like it, don't like it, I can tell you don't, but let's just, for the sake of the argument, put it to the side. The biggest reason to me to criticize it would be because there's actually an all-in move out there for the Lakers to make that would be worth it, that's realistic, that they're not doing. Do you see one out there, or like in terms of players reportedly available, or maybe that could be? Because, like, I'm not trying to cape up for the front office, but I honestly don't see what they could be doing that they're not.
Yeah, there isn't. Now, as we know, there have been a few moves in recent Laker history that none of us saw coming in the first place, that if they were available, then, yeah, we jump all over that. But, again, I think they've got kind of their starting 5, or at least the roles locked in there, where I think they need one more good player. If you write down all of the 6, they've got 6 guys right now that you could trust in a playoff series, I think, between Austin, Luka, LeBron, Rui, Ayton, and Smart as the 6th guy. I think they need one more guy, at least, like, or 1.5, that there is, if they can find that guy at some point, but I think it needs to be a defensive front court player, because if you look at their front court guys, it's LeBron, Luka. I'm talking defensively with Luka, Ayton, and Rui. All of them at this point are better on the offensive end than they are on defense. So I do think sort of what happens when Ayton's on the bench. Do you need that second big? I think you do. But and so it's more about like these smaller moves that I don't think are necessarily available right now, but maybe more so toward the deadline. And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting, Andy, of like, are they going to be willing to maybe take on somebody that's got money on the books but that does fit that description that you're talking about, of that all-in move that actually exists rather than just in theory. It's an actual person that, yes, this is the player that puts us over the top. For me, if it's going to be one player, it's going to be a good defensive player in the front court who is also capable on the offensive end. But that is a theory. That's just an idea, an archetype of a player rather than an actual person. So I'm with you in the, like, I don't see the, yes, go do that, and that's the version of the Lakers going all in.
You mentioned the 6 guys that you feel right now are pretty solidified for a playoff rotation. How much confidence do you have that Jake LaRavia could end up joining that group?
I think he's capable for sure. I am encouraged by his abilities as a connector, and he's got some defensive talent, particularly on the perimeter. And so I think that's a possibility. My one concern is that where does he play, right? Like, he's a little bit bigger than Dalton. He's a similar player to Dalton, right? But a little bit bigger, closer to Rui's size, but it's a little smaller than him. And there's sort of a logjam there where Luka and LeBron are that sized player too, that they're going to be on the floor and they're going to have someone to guard. And so while I like LaRavia, does that put him on twos? You're not going to put him on fives, right? And so how much can you, come playoff time, can you share the court with your two best players who are going to play 38 minutes apiece? I think maybe you could sneak in a two-shift type of thing where he's playing with one of them in each of those. But I do think it'll be tough to play him with both because it becomes a question of, like, who guards who. But I do like LaRavia. I do think he was an underrated move this offseason.
And then last question for you, Pete. We're talking with Pete Zayas, the co-host of the Lakers Film Room podcast. Follow him on Twitter at Laker Film Room. You just mentioned Dalton Knecht, who is coming off a really rough summer league. What do you make of how Dalton played during the summer league? How concerning is it, whether because you like Dalton as a player or because you're hoping that he ups his trade value and becomes somebody else?
Yeah, it wasn't a great summer league for him. The Dalton apologist in me says that summer league is very much a measure of your ball handling and one-on-one and on-ball creation in a lot of ways that is not a natural part of his game. And I think that he came into summer league sort of with that, I'm the second-year guy and I need to put up points. And I do think him and Swider were kind of fighting for some of the same shots. But Dalton made a ton of bad decisions where he tried to go one-on-one against the guy, and it was like, not really your game. Even in the summer league, that's not really what you do. The part that worried me a little bit more is, especially juxtaposed with Swider, is there are all sorts of reads as a shooter where it's like, hey, I should actually curl around the screen here, or I should fade off of this to get myself a little bit more open, where Dalton kept running into double teams or driving to the basket into two players that, I don't know if you remember at the beginning of last year, Max Christie kept driving to the basket and getting a shot blocked.
Yep.
In part because he was just deciding, at the three-point line, I'm going to go. Whatever happens, I'm going to go as hard as I can. And that becomes very easy for defenders to read. That Dalton just kept making the wrong choice on a lot of those. And so I have questions about his ability to make those type of reads. Like, that's where he's really going to need to improve. That said, he's a guy that is a rhythm player that if you set him up with good shots, he's going to hit those and get into a rhythm. And all of a sudden the tough ones are going to start to fall too, where an environment alongside Luka, alongside LeBron, alongside Austin, where other players are creating, and it's just, hey, you knock down this open shot or run the floor for a layup or a dunk. I think that's much more conducive. That said, I think LaRavia is going to be battling him for a lot of those same minutes, so we'll see.
He is Pete Zayas. He's the co-host with Darius Soriano of the Lakers Film Room podcast. Again, it is my favorite Lakers podcast that does not directly involve me. Follow Pete on Twitter at Laker Film Room. As always, man, this has been fun. I appreciate the time. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you, Andy. Take care, man.
There he goes, Pete Zayas. Again, check out the Lakers Film Room podcast. Coming up, we will react to some of what Pete said, also take some of your calls. 877-710-ESPN. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
Have you checked out the new Park West Bicycle Casino? Only 9 miles from downtown LA, right off the 710? The bike has been reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and 200 table games. ESPN listeners get $30 in match play when they walk in and say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino. Real cards, real prizes, real close.
Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER. GEAR-0021291, 001289, 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
Waba Grill is an LA original, so we've got to keep it real. Real fresh with our Asian-inspired menu that's grilled to order every time.
Take me up and never put me down.
Real quality with our marinated proteins like hormone-free chicken, ribeye steak, wild-caught salmon, and shrimp. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium beverage drink like our creamy and delicious Thai tea. Waba Grill, keeping it real every day for you.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m. after Clinton and Friends.
I've been a little crazy with the sugar for a while now.
I am not a health food nut advocate or anything, but sugar is so wildly addictive. It's crazy. Like, once you get a little bit of it, it's like, I'll take some more of that.
And there's a lot of studies about what it's doing and what it could do and what it might have done. So you start listening. Okay, so I've gone a little crazy with the apple fritters once a day after the show as a pat on the back or whatever.
They're pretty good.
They are good.
They're very good.
And this dude will serve me right into the grave, too.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll have a soda every now and then. So
what's your soda choice? Like
whatever you got?
Yeah, it doesn't matter?
No, I mean, if I'm buying it, probably Sprite.
Yeah.
So
Sprite's your first choice?
Sprite's always first choice.
Yeah, okay.
I had a Mellow Yellow the other day.
That's like the bootleg Mountain Dew, right? Mellow Yellow?
Mellow Yellow.
Really?
And I had like 3 cups. 3 large cups.
Travis and DeMarco tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Don't miss Travis and DeMarco on 710 ESPN. 710 ESPN.
The radio home of the purple and gold and the home of Lakers talk.
If I had to bet right now, LeBron will be a Laker next season, and he will finish out next season with the Lakers, and wherever things go from there, who knows? Now, is it impossible that LeBron will end up somewhere else? No, but it still feels like the most likely outcome.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
Color. I am a nightmare walking, psychopath talking. King of my jungle, just a gangster stalking, living life like a firecracker.
Remember who directed the movie Colors?
No, I don't.
Dennis Hopper.
Get out of here.
Dennis Hopper directed Colors.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a controversial movie.
I mean, a classic Robert Duvall,
Sean
Penn.
Yeah. It was
Pac-Man.
Yeah, Pac-Man. Very, very.
Crips and Bloods. Yeah, man. This
very
is great.
controversial.
Because of this movie, my sister and brother did not want to go to high school in L.A. anymore.
Really?
No, did not.
There's a great book that I read years ago. I think it's still in print, called Do or Die. And this journalist, I want to say her name was like Leon Bing. It's spelled like Leon, but I believe it was pronounced Leon. She went into all of these different Blood and Crip neighborhoods all over L.A. And just did these sit-down interviews with them, like a lot of it on the record. She hung out with them as they were like out.
That's fascinating. I need to look this up.
It's a great book called Do or Die. And this was the book that I first learned about Monster Cody. And Monster Cody was this notorious gang leader. I want to say of the Crips. He might have been of the Bloods. I don't remember. But he was like a notorious leader who ended up kind of reforming his life in prison. And he
was a Crip.
Crip. He had his own book that he came out with called, I believe it's called Monster, that is also a really, really interesting read. But this book, Do or Die, that came out maybe like probably 4 or 5 years after the movie Colors, when like a lot of this stuff, like, Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society, like all this stuff is starting to essentially just get noticed by white people. Like, if we're really being honest, that's what was going on. Again, thanks to Pete Zayas for joining us. We're going to talk with Domin Rangula at 7:30. Real quick, I see Mitch holding. I'll get some other people too as well. I want to get into the idea of Dalton Knecht, who I just asked Pete about before he left. Seen a lot of folks in the Lakers Talk chat. And by the way, everybody in the YouTube section, shout out to y'all. Thank you for being there. Thank you all for leaving comments, stuff like that. There is a lot of, at least in this chat, there's a lot of belief. I'm seeing right now, Funch on the street, me and AK wilding in them streets.
That's right.
There's a lot of belief in the chat still out there for Dalton Knecht after what was really a rough summer league. I mean, it was pretty brutal. Like, it's one thing for Dalton to not be the best player in the summer league, even though, to be honest, that's kind of the standard that I hold second-year players to. Like, second-year players who actually got NBA run during their rookie year, and Dalton did. Like, Dalton got a lot of minutes as a rookie. Like, I know the last couple months he played less, didn't play in the playoffs at all, but Dalton got plenty of minutes. The thing you look for a player like that is they don't look like they belong in the summer league, in the sense that the summer league feels like a waste of time for them. Dalton was the opposite. Dalton was like the 5th or 6th best player on the Lakers summer league team. Like, he looked at best like he made no progress. At worst, he looked like he regressed. My hope is simply that his head is in the wrong space because he's still thinking he might get traded.
I want to say he had one good half, but that was in the California League.
Yeah, the California Classic.
That's right.
They need Dalton to play well, whether because they want him to be part of the rotation or whether because he is seen as the equivalent of a first-round pick. So if you trade Dalton and a pick, that's seen as the equivalent of 2 picks, and then you can actually get an impact player. Like, it is a problem for the Lakers, whether on the court or for the guy that you want Dalton to turn into, DeAndre, if he does not look vastly different, like during the preseason and training camp and the opening of the regular season.
I mean, they showed their cards already with them with the whole trade with Mark Williams and stuff like that happened. But I mean, he might be unplayable because he can't defend, and if his shot's not going, you can't really put him on the floor because at that point it's like, okay, if his shot's not falling, then what can they do to put him on the floor where he can excel at? And if his 3-point shot's not falling, then what's the point?
Well, I mean, especially too, like if he's not able to he is capable of putting the ball on the floor, but if he doesn't look comfortable doing that and the 3-point shot isn't falling, then you're right. Like, you're kind of out of uses for the guy because, like, he's an okay rebounder, but he's not great at it. He's not a great playmaker. He is not a good defender. Like, he
gets lost out there on that side of the floor, which again, like, you can't score, but you can't also give up on the other end of the floor. Like, at some point, you got to take a defensive stand. And that's what he wasn't doing.
Ted in Whittier wants to talk about Dalton Knecht on Lakers Talk. What's up, Ted?
Hey, what's up, guys? Appreciate you taking the call.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the proof is in the pudding to an extent. He had some dynamic games last year playing with the varsity. He had like a 5 or 6 3-point shooting game. He's an older guy. His body's filled out. He's mature. Seems pretty healthy. I don't think we should give up on him. I think his heart's broken. I mean, when you go through what he went through, and we all know what that was, trade rescinded, back to the Lakers, and they asked him they were probably trying to shop him in the summer league. But I think emotionally, he's in a bad spot. But I'll tell you, you can't forget what the kid's done. And I'll take your comments off air. Thank you, guys.
I appreciate the call there, Ted. And actually, I'm going to respond to what Ted was saying in terms of Dalton's heart being broken about being included in that trade. And if that is the case, what I think the Lakers really need to reiterate to Dalton, because I think there's a pretty straightforward and honest thing that they can tell Dalton that hopefully can get his head back in the right space. Also, LeBron had some interesting comments on the Mind the Game podcast about the new direction of the NBA. We can get into that. Also, some of your calls, 877-710-ESPN. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-2085. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-2085. That's 800-555-2085. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-555-2085.
Don't miss Travis and DeMarco.
Live from LA Live. Back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
I made a huge mistake, though, and this is where I'm just officially an old man.
Yeah.
I had a Coke. A 16-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola at 9 o'clock at night was a massive mistake.
Oh, were you up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Good for
I'm
you.
operating on about 3 hours of sleep today.
Look at you.
But
okay.
Feeling great.
Good for
Feeling
you.
great.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
On 710 ESPN.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station. This is Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN.
Where Lakers fans tap in for all the latest surrounding the purple and gold.
As far as where we go moving forward, LeBron always talks about being comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think this season may be a lot of that for LeBron and the Lakers. And I think for what it's worth, if people are looking for a little optimism, I think it's something both sides can pull off.
It's an off-season edition of Lakers Talk on 710.
Because at the end of the day, LeBron's goals and the Lakers' goals for next season are win as many games as possible, even if the methodology may not totally align.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk is on.
Here's Andy Kamenetzky.
One of the TVs right now, they're showing a televised version of the Hoop Collective with Brian Windhorst and Tim McMahon and Tim Bontemps, show I listen to regularly. I have never seen Brian Windhorst in a baseball cap. Ever.
He's wearing a baseball cap?
He's wearing a baseball cap, right? There's Bontemps. Bontemps, I think I've seen that before, but they're going to cut to Windy. I don't think I've
This
ever...
is a baseball hat show. Yeah.
Look, I have never seen Brian Windhorst in a baseball hat. He's always felt too formal to me for a baseball cap, particularly on TV.
You know what? I never see him in anything less than a suit.
Yes.
Yes. He doesn't really dress down.
No.
No.
Like, this is a different...
Like, anytime he comes to our studios or whatever, he's in a suit and a booty.
Especially, too, like, Wendy's been pretty open about the fact that he is into his product. You know, his hair product matters to him. He puts some work into it. I think he's got a hair product connect. Good for him. Would have loved that back in the day. Now I have no use for it, but... Another story, but there you have it. Hoop Collective, by the way, too, another podcast people should listen to. We were talking before, and I'm going to get to your calls in just a second, 877-710-ESPN, about Dalton Knecht. And we had a call that mentioned Dalton perhaps being heartbroken about being included in that rescinded deal to the Hornets for Mark Williams. And ever since then, not feeling connected to the team, his head being in a bad space, stuff like that. If that is the case, then I think JJ or Rob, somebody that has a good relationship with Dalton, just needs to talk to him and let him know, like, look, this was not about you. We were addressing a totally different position. After we traded Anthony Davis, we needed a center. We needed, if possible, a big center. Not like an undersized center or a power forward masquerading as a center. Like, we wanted an actual center. Mark Williams is a legit 7-foot solid big dude. We needed somebody like that. Of all the things, Dalton, you can do to improve your game, none of them include become 7 feet tall. Like, we were trading you for a completely different player type. Like, we did not trade you for a souped-up, better version of Dalton Knecht. For that matter, we also traded you because Mark Williams was on a rookie-scale deal, and we needed somebody whose salary matches. And that is also you, along with Cam Reddish, who was on a veteran's minimum. Like, so much of this was not about you. It was about the particulars of who we were looking to bring in and how. And it's not personal against you, Dalton. Like, you need to get past that.
He needs to understand it's a business. It is a business. You got to play, man. You have to play. You don't perform, things like this happen, man. And
well, look, sometimes even if you do perform, things like this happen.
It happens.
Like, Luka Dončić performed.
Prime example. Prime example.
Luka performed. He got traded here. Anthony Davis performed. He got traded to Los Angeles. I know he forced his way here, but nonetheless, he got traded here. He got traded to Dallas. He was performing. Like, damn near every great player in league history has been traded. There are very few players, like, forget the guys who haven't been, who are just lifers with an organization, the Kobes, the Stephs, the Dirks, the Duncans, guys like that. There are very few players who have never been traded. Like Shaquille O'Neal has been traded. Pau Gasol has been traded. Wilt has been Wilt was salary dumped, I think, twice. Kareem got traded. Like,
Kobe got traded.
Yes, technically, Kobe did get traded.
Technically.
Kobe technically got traded. So, like, Dalton needs to understand this is not just part of the business, like you were mentioning, DeAndre, but also, like, this was not about Dalton underperforming. This was, unless you're going to have a growth spurt overnight that you can plan that is about 6 inches, we need somebody different. It ain't about you. And we needed to make the salaries match.
And his value at that time was high because he was playing really, really well. The Hornets wanted him in that deal. It was as far as that pick. But now you look at the Summer League performance, and now it's like, okay, going to the season, can we trust you as a critical role player on this roster? And then now he has to go into that. Like, he's got to be able to understand, like, you're playing for yourself, too. You got to be able to, like, go out here and perform. Like, you're a second-year player. You're supposed to realistically perform well in the Summer League when you're going into your second year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, a player like Dalton that actually played during his rookie year, you are supposed to look like Summer League is a waste of your time. Like, they shut you down because this is truly a waste of your time. Like, they did that with Brandon Ingram during his second year. And Brandon Ingram's rookie season was very up and down, had a lot of Laker fans down on him. I was in the minority, like, talking him up, like, hey, if you actually watch him, you'll see things that you like. Brandon Ingram played 1 game in the Summer League going into his sophomore year, destroyed it, and the Lakers were like, all right, we don't need to see anymore. We're going to let, like, Lonzo and Kuzma and Hart, Caruso, those guys play. We don't need anything else. That's the way it needed to be for Dalton. We didn't see it. Peter in Ontario's got thoughts on Dalton Knecht. You're on Lakers Talk, Peter. What's up?
I think, and again, I didn't watch every single game that Dalton played, but the games that I did watch, I just saw him just kind of in the corner doing nothing. I think if the Lakers wanted to trade him, they have to showcase him. To me, I thought it was a lot of Bronny James and that other guard they had. I thought they should have ran some plays for Dalton, get him at least 15 to 17 shots a game. That's just my opinion. If you plan to trade him, I think he's still a good player that can give us a lot of off the bench, a lot of firepower off the bench. But his confidence is shot. So
I appreciate the call there, Peter. I mean, he didn't get 15 or 17 shots necessarily, but Dalton got a lot of shots in the summer league.
Lots of minutes too.
And they were drawing plays. When he was coming off of down screens, he was coming off of pick and rolls. Like they make sure that they were drawing plays for Dalton Knecht.
Yeah, I do not think the problem was not giving Dalton enough opportunity. The problem was he got opportunities and didn't even come close to maximizing them, and that's something that for his own sake, forget even just his future with the Lakers, for his own sake, he needs to come out way stronger in preseason, training camp, beginning of the regular season, just look like himself again. I think he has it in him but I think a lot of this is going to be on him to make it happen. Mitch in New Jersey, you're on Lakers Talk. What's up, Mitch?
Hey, Andy.
Hey.
How you doing, guys? First of all, JJ didn't play half the team. I see you said Koloko. I guess we won't have him in the playoffs. I want to see Smart on the bench, but I would rather have Bradley Beal. I thought he was Beal Lakers for sure.
I appreciate the call there, Mitch. I would not have minded Bradley Beal if he were open to coming off the bench. And the contract that the Lakers gave Marcus Smart, I think, is essentially the exact same deal that Bradley Beal got with the Clippers. I think it's same 2 years, $11 million, player option for the second year. I don't know if you want to interpret that as the Lakers willing to give Marcus Smart a deal that they weren't willing to give Bradley Beal. You know, it took maneuvering to make this happen. They had to create the cap space for a full biannual exception, which meant waiving Shake Milton, which was expected one way or the other, but also waiving Jordan Goodwin, who I think the Lakers in a perfect world wanted to keep. I think they liked a lot of what they saw in Jordan Goodwin. I know I did. I know I wanted him to play more during the playoffs. I was pretty open about that. Bradley Beal, though, it seems like wants to keep starting. And the Clippers have an open starting spot for him. I can't say with certainty he's going to get it, but it lays out very neatly and cleanly for Bradley Beal to have a starting role with the Clippers. It doesn't lay out as neatly with the Lakers. I think if Bradley Beal wants to start, like it's really important to him, then I think the Lakers did the right thing not making those concessions for Beal, because I don't think they have as clean a route to start him.
I was thinking about this, and when Marcus Smart got bought out, like you saw reports already, the Lakers he's attending to sign with the Lakers.
Yep.
And with Bradley Beal, you saw reports that there wasn't really that much engagement as far as the talks or contracts. And
it was reported that the Lakers and Bradley Beal's representation, they talked.
They talked, but it seemed like it didn't get nowhere to the point where Marcus Smart, the moment he got bought out by the Wizards, like, all right, he's him to sign with the Lakers, because I felt like they were open with Bradley Beal. Hey, this is going to be your role potentially. We still got Austin Reeves and, Luka Dončić. We're real guard heavy. Don't know how you will fit as far as what we like to do defensively. As far as Marcus Smart, they knew you know what you're going to get out on the defensive end of the floor, and you know what his role could be. Bradley Beal, like you said, he wants to start, and the Clippers already got rid of Norman Powell. They traded him away. He plugs in right there because they're not going to start Bogdanovich. He's a guy that likes to come off the bench. He likes to provide that spark. So the Clippers system was better for Bradley Beal than what it is for Marcus.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like I think Bradley Beal could have helped the Lakers, but I think the use for him and the need for him, like they talked before about. My opinion, they should play Rui off the bench, or at least be considering it, to help rebalance the defensive presence in the starting unit. But also, I think you can get more utility potentially from Rui off the bench, and the bench unit needs scoring. Obviously, Bradley Beal could have helped the Lakers. Marcus Smart, though, fills a much more pressing need.
And can you imagine Bradley Beal, Luka, and Austin Reeves on a perimeter together?
Oh, my goodness.
Together.
Dude. Like, whew. Like I've said this before, and I took some pushback on Locked On Lakers from some of our listeners. I don't care. Like, if you think that there are potential defensive issues with a lineup of Luka, LeBron, Austin, Rui, and DeAndre Ayton, wait till you see a lineup of Luka, Austin, Bradley Beal, LeBron, and Ayton. Like, Rui, to me, is borderline prime Artest compared to Bradley Beal. Like, Bradley Beal is a bad defender. He, at least, like, if nothing else, at least Rui provides more size and physicality. Like, Beal is not a good defender at all. So, and again, I don't even think Rui's a great defender. He's not. But I think he's better than Beal. If I had to choose between the two, taking on defensive assignments, and boy, that's not a great choice. But if I had to choose, I'm choosing Rui. But I think this worked out better for the Lakers with Marcus Smart. I think Marcus Smart fills a much more pressing need that they did not have on their roster. I think the energy and attitude and intensity that Marcus Smart is going to bring. Like, in some ways, I think he's replicating what, by all accounts, DFS brought to that locker room. Like, Marcus Smart plays his ass off out there. He plays hard. And I think that's something the Lakers are going to benefit from. All right, coming up next, take a few more of your calls. Also, want to talk about the offseason that Rob Pelinka's had. How would you grade it? Are you happy with what Rob Pelinka has done so far? That's coming up next, 877-710-ESPN with your calls. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. In the market for new flooring? Why pay more at big box stores? At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, every day is a deal, no gimmicks. Call 866-62-FLOOR or visit them online at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net. No sale beats wholesale.
Celebrate with Mason and Ireland at their 21st birthday private podcast party. Saturday, July 26, 5 p.m. start at Hollywood Park Casino, LA's hottest card room, where you can park, party, and play. Enjoy a fan meet and greet, surprise guests, and take home an exclusive Mason and Ireland gift. Visit ESPNLA.com for more details. Tickets are sold out, but you can win your way in. Listen to Mason and Ireland all week long for you to win your way in at Hollywood Park Casino, open 24/7 pregame on game days inside Century Bar and Grill. And step into Ray's Lounge for live music and DJs on the weekends. For more info, go to playhbc.com or follow them at playhbc. Must be 21 plus to enter.
Hey, it's Mace. In tough times, a lot of people find themselves owing money to the IRS. It can really weigh you down, and you're confused about the right way to handle it. And all those scary ads on the radio about the IRS, they don't help. Tax relief advocates want you to relax, knowing that whether you owe $5,000, $50,000, $500,000 in tax debt, you don't have to fear the IRS another day. TRA has a proven 3-step tax resolution process, plus they're experts at working with special programs available from the IRS to help taxpayers get back on track. Easy to see why they have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. If you owe money to the IRS and feel trapped, don't lose hope. Tax relief advocates could reduce or even eliminate your debt. End your tax nightmare today. Simply visit TRA.com or call 800-575-1482. That's 800-575-1482. Again, 800-575-1482.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk continues on 710 ESPN.
This is about LeBron knowing that he is no longer the center of a purple and gold universe, and he doesn't like it. There have been signs leading up to this, like LeBron was kept out of the loop with the Luka deal, which sent out his close friend and fellow Clutch client, Anthony Davis, to Dallas. It's a sign that it was not considered mandatory to keep him in the loop.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
Sound of a funky drummer. Music hitting your heart, 'cause I know you got a soul.
It's Militant Rappers Day tonight on Lakers Talk. We've had a little
80s rap, man. That's all 80s rap, man. Come on.
You don't hear me complaining. You don't hear me. I think you can make an argument for Chuck D as the greatest MC ever.
Oh,
he's so great. Also, he has said many times, modeled both his voice and style after Marv Albert.
And also one of the best basketball fans on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
He knows his stuff.
Oh, he's a great... Chuck D is a
He knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff about blank, man. Chuck D...
Everything.
He is a great follow on Twitter. Really, really smart guy. Really politically engaged.
It's just funny about this group because just Chuck D is just, smart, militant, blah, blah, blah. And then you got Favorite Flav over there just
Yin
causing
and
ruckus.
yang.
Yes, yin,
Yin
and
and
yang.
yang.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't even know if they're two sides of the same coin, but they are two different sides of something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you would call the reality TV equivalent of Flavor of Love. I just know Chuck D would never do that.
No.
There is
no, but that is like a one of the first reality show dating shows to kind of like hit.
Oh yeah.
And now everything is all like reality dating shows.
That was a big deal, man. But yeah, Chuck D is awesome. Fear of a Black Planet, I think, is one of the best.
There would be no
rap
Love
albums
Island
ever.
or anything if there wasn't for Flavor of Love.
He was a trailblazer.
Trailblazer.
He should have several different stars on the Hollywood Walk
Seriously.
of Fame, Flavor Flav.
Seriously.
Like for music, for TV, for
Philanthropist
overall...
as well. He's trying to get the women's Olympic team, one of the Olympic teams. Yes, trying to get them to go to the
Forgot about that. I would love to have Flavor Flav as a guest. I would also be scared to death.
Oh man,
like live FCC.
No, Flavor Flav, 1999 might be scary, but Flavor Flav now is fine.
You think he could hang with the FCC rules? Stuff
Yeah,
like
he's
that?
fine. He's fine.
Wouldn't get us tossed off.
No.
the air?
No.
Well, in that case, Flavor Flav, if you're interested in coming on, talking a little Lakers,
he might be, man. I saw him walking around LA many times.
Really?
Yeah.
There you have it. All right. So this offseason for the Lakers, it's not complete or necessarily complete, but I think we're pretty close to complete. And I gotta say, so far, given the constraints that the Lakers were working against, minimal cap space, they ended up with more than they expected once DFS ended up walking, but you're still talking about just a full mid-level exception and a biannual exception. They are not steeped in coveted tradable assets. Basically, you look at the first-round pick in 2031, Dalton Knecht, whose trade value has likely gone down during the Summer League, Austin Reeves, who I think teams would be interested in, but the problem is he's not going to extend with any of them. So his value around the league goes down because he's in a walk year, and there's going to be a lot of teams with cap space this coming offseason, so that could make him a threat to go to a lot of different places, which in a lot of ways lowers Austin's trade value. I think Rui could have decent trade value in a walk year expiring contract, but then you get to Gabe Vincent or Maxi Kleber, they're basically just expirings and salary ballast, and they're not a lot of value in and of themselves. When you look at those constrictions and see that the Lakers have managed to bring in starting center in DeAndre Ayton, a potential starting defensive specialist in Marcus Smart, a solid role player who's 24 years old and hopefully has some room to grow in Jake LaRavia, they managed to trade up a couple times to bring in a Dutiero, who I know we talked a couple weeks ago with Mike Garcia, who does a lot of draft scouting and in particular knows the Lakers, super high on a Dutiero, and I will trust the Lakers scouting department. They've often been very, very good. Nobody bats 1,000, but they're pretty good. And they brought back Jackson Hayes. When you take into account that type of activity with those type of constrictions, they managed to, I think, get better while not having a lot of avenues to get better and retaining the assets that they began the offseason with. That's pretty good work by Rob Pelinka. I think Rob has actually done a pretty good job this offseason. It may not erase every single question our audience, our listeners, DeAndre, Funchy, me, that we have about Pelinka big picture. It doesn't erase some mistakes that he's made.
Westbrook.
Among others. But the offseason is the offseason, and even if you want to say that these constrictions are in a lot of ways the result of Rob's own doing, and I think there's some truth to that, you still have to grade it against what are realistic expectations for the setting. Even if it's Rob's own fault that the setting is this way, the setting's the setting. I think Rob's done really good work. I think he's done really good work this offseason, and I'm sure he got a heads up from Bill Duffy, Luka's agent, about DeAndre Ayton and the buyout. And, that was maybe steered towards him. Okay. But paid attention to what was going on with Marcus Smart, made sure that he got himself to the front of that line with the buyout. I think pivoted nicely after DFS decided to leave, and you end up getting a younger guy who can do at least some of what you had in DFS. I think it's been good work for Rob. Again, it does not answer every single question about him big picture, but all things being equal and realistic and fair, I think he's done a good job.
If you were to give him a grade for the offseason,
I would give him a B+. I would actually give Rob a B+. I think the moves that he's made are not, other than maybe Ayton, I don't know if they are consequential enough to get him an A. But to be fair to Rob, I'm not sure that he was in any realistic position to actually get an A. So I would go B+, and I mean a very strong B+. I think Rob has done, again, really good work.
I think that's a higher grade than most people would give him, too.
You know what? It's something I know I'm going to talk about in about 5 minutes with Domin Rangula, a great Lakers follow on Twitter, @DominR. A lot of our audience knows him. That's something that I do want to get into with Domin. But before we do that, Randy in Glendale, you're on Lakers Talk. What's up, Randy?
What's up, you guys? How are you doing today?
Hey.
Man, so I just want to say, so far this offseason is better than most, right?
Mm-hmm.
The moves aren't the greatest, but they're the moves that we needed to address. Do you guys have any move ideas that will make us legit title contenders?
Appreciate the call there, Randy. To be honest, for the time being, in terms of who seems available, there's always the guy that surprise moves that you don't expect to see happen. But as far as guys that seem realistically available around the league for what the Lakers have to offer, I feel like no. Like, I don't feel like the Lakers are in a position where they are one player away and then they can get that.
Can we get Wemby for a future second-round pick?
You know what? It's funny you say that. I'm not even sure that the one Lakers second that they have over the next 5 years that they can actually trade right now. Because I think it's like a conditional second. It couldn't end up going to Utah.
Or it's somebody's rights. Somebody has rights already.
Well, it's semi-promised to someone else. It's contingent on the way the season shakes out. So, and that is, to the best of my knowledge, I went through Spot Track looking at future draft picks for the Lakers. That's the only one that is definitively not going somewhere else, and I don't even know if the Lakers can trade it right now.
What about Giannis?
Dalton for Giannis, who says no?
Yeah, exactly. Throwing a pick in there,
too. Throw some money in there, too.
There's some cash. Some cash considerations.
Walking me some cash.
Cash considerations. Now, I don't know if there's anything realistically the Lakers can do right. That's part of what I talked about earlier in the show with Pete Zayas. Like, those reports that came out about the Lakers focusing on keeping their cap space pretty flexible or open for this coming off season, or hell, even 2027, because they're big game hunting with Giannis or Jokic. And while I think I've said I am taking those reports with a massive grain of salt. Like, I honestly don't believe them being that literal, just because it feels very conveniently stupid. It feels like something that we didn't start hearing about at all until Rich Paul, through his statement, made it clear they were not satisfied on LeBron's behalf with the state of the Lakers. Then all of a sudden we started hearing about 2027. And I just, again, the idea of essentially sitting on your hands for 2 years in Luka's prime just feels so dumb. I have a hard time believing that's plan A. But to be fair to the front office, if you want to criticize that plan, you need to know the thing that they're supposed to be doing right now that's realistically in front of them that could significantly improve the team, and they're unwilling to do it. I don't know what that is. I honestly don't know what it is. I'm not trying to cape up for the front office. I think our listeners know I am willing to be critical of them and have been critical of them. I don't know what that move is. So I can't criticize them for something that does not feel just evident and obvious. But that is something, by the way, that I want to talk about with Domin Rangula, a great, great Lakers Twitter presence. Everybody knows him. You can follow him on Twitter Domin R, Damanr. That's coming up next. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
Next Gen, the official air conditioner.
Introducing Golden Hour, our new mango dragon fruit sparkling spring water. Arrowhead, straight from the West.
All the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
710 ESPN.
The radio home of the purple and gold and the home of Lakers talk.
If I had to bet right now, LeBron will be a Laker next season, and he will finish out next season with the Lakers, and wherever things go from there, who knows? Now, is it impossible that LeBron will end up somewhere else? No, but it still feels like the most likely outcome.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
They're playing basketball. We love that basketball. They're playing basketball.
Now rapping basketball, number one, Curtis Blow. Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court.
Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN. Really happy to be bringing on my dude, Domin Rangula. He is a great Lakers Twitter follow. I'm sure most of our audience is following along with him anyway. At Domin R, Damanr. Domin, man, how you doing?
Good, man. The music's great. Do we have to talk?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's up to you, DeAndre. If you want to drown us out at any point, go for it. Like, I don't know, if you feel like things are falling apart.
Music's been on point all night.
No, like this has been a night where, quite frankly, DeAndre's been in his bag, man. He found a theme.
Yeah.
He found a theme, and he's been going with it all night. I think it's been a crowd pleaser in the studio.
I can't take all the credit. Give some credit to Funch, too.
Okay, Funch. Okay. I didn't realize that it was a team effort.
DeAndre, we got to give it to DeAndre. It's a good omen for DeAndre Ayton this year.
There you go. Different spelling, but same results, man. Both bringing it when it matters the most. So, okay.
That's right.
Domin, I wanted to begin with a tweet that you recently sent, and it was in response to the unpopular opinions meme where the character from Tangled has all the swords pointed at his head and he's unfazed. And the lead-up question was, what's a Laker hot take that has the entire fan base looking at you like this? And your response was, the Lakers front office is, for the most part, handling this offseason well. You followed it up by saying, Lakers have added a starting center and Marcus Smart without losing a single asset. The Lakers have enough to start the season. Wait for a high-value mid-season trade. I remain happy with this offseason. Why do you okay, first of all, why are you happy with it? I guess, why do the moves that they made satisfy you? And also, why do you think at least a large percentage of loud Laker fans are unhappy?
So I think, and you covered it right before this call. You gave Pelinka a B+. Pete has been talking, like you had Pete on earlier last hour. I think for the Lakers to emerge with a legitimate starting center, now we'll see how good DeAndre Ayton ends up being this season. It's still to be determined, but I think we can safely say he's a starting center. For the Lakers to emerge with a starting center and adding a player like Marcus Smart, and I tweeted that out before Marcus Smart initially was signed, and getting somebody like Jake LaRavia, like with what the Lakers had in their disposal, and I think I was explaining this to somebody too. It's like, first of all, it's really weird, and Andy, you mentioned this earlier, like it's really weird that I find myself in the position of defending the front office because I've been very critical over the years. I think that there's a few things that the front office, to me, has shown maturity about. I think that the transition between LeBron and the Luka era is a very difficult thing to manage. It is an underappreciated difficulty. Everybody wants to be the Laker GM. Everybody wants to run the team. I think managing not only just the egos involved, rightful egos, like these people have earned their place in the league, to manage that from a timeline perspective on the fly, the way they've done, and also understand that, hey, sure, Andrew Wiggins is a big name that people bring up. Is there the assessment that I think the front office has been making is this the move where we go all in, quote unquote, and actually bridge the gap between where we are and where OKC is or Houston is? And I think that there's been a maturity of this, not that they're quitting on the season. I think, and to your second question, why I feel like the fan base has so much angst, I think there's an accumulated fatigue over the last few years toward the end of the LeBron AD era, where I do think the front office was not taking the opportunity as seriously as they perhaps should have. I think that timeline, from my point of view, was truly year to year. And I don't think that the front office operated year to year. Like, they didn't operate like, if we don't get it done this year, it could be over. And this is the summer where actually that's not the case. Luka's here. Like, you have to assume that Luka will sign the extension. You can't act out of fear. You have to make the logical deduction that, okay, it's all signs point to Luka signing the extension. How are we positioning ourselves for the next 3, 4, 5 years while also being competitive? And there's this fan base angst, and of course, Rich Paul's statement obviously made a serious impact on how the front office is being perceived. And I just look at it like, I also think we're forgetting how good the team was last year in a lot of senses. I think the way that the season ended against Minnesota was clearly the better team. But I don't think that the gap that the season ended with was actually indicative of their actual gap. LeBron and Luka haven't had time to play together. Luka Dončić, fingers crossed, will come in great shape. The coaching staff has a full offseason, but this is JJ Redick's first time coaching. He inherits a Anthony Davis and LeBron James team, and mid-season, even later than mid-season, really, if you look at the calendar, now is coaching a Luka Dončić, LeBron James team. And I just think that there's internal growth opportunities on the surface. I think you added a better center. You added I'm so enthusiastic about Marcus Smart. Pete and I have been talking for a long time about Marcus Smart. Beyond what he brings on the court, I think the way that LA went out in Game 5 does not happen if Marcus Smart is on the roster. Like, I think he brings so many other intangibles to the table that can help this team day in, day out.
You mentioned too, Domin. We're talking with Domin Rangula. You can follow him on Twitter at Domin R. Great Lakers follow. Really smart analysis, commentary, stuff like that. You mentioned the Rich Paul statement after LeBron opted in, and I think you're hitting on something in terms of some of the perception of the work that the Lakers front office has done, or I guess hasn't done, over the course of this offseason. Because I think when you take a look at both the realism in terms of what they were working with to improve the team, limited cap space, not a ton of coveted assets, they've managed to make the team better. But also, too, like the perception that they're not willing to go all the way or that they're not willing to go all in. I don't want them to make some type of performative all-in move where basically it's like you're doing this to get everybody off your neck and like you're cosplaying contention, but you're not really contending. And I've asked this to Pete. I've brought it up to like DeAndre and Funchie. We were talking about it. I don't know what the all-in move for the Lakers would be right now. Like something that would justify a first-round pick. Like it sounds like the Andrew Wiggins thing had, however much it was being talked about, it seems like that's dying down. Miami is very much openly signaling that Wiggins is going to be part of their core. But I got to be honest, I don't want them trading a first-round pick for Andrew Wiggins. Like, that's not good business, and I don't think Andrew Wiggins makes them so much better that it justifies moving a pick that they are going to need if you're going to try to create the best future moving forward with Luka. Like, and that doesn't excuse the front office from past mistakes they've made, but the place they're in is the place they're in. They have to operate from that place.
The B+ you gave them the grade for this offseason, not as their overall job over the tenure of Rob Pelinka. That's not what we're talking about. And so I also urge people to look at the fact that it's July 21st right now. There's a whole slew of restricted free agency that is still to play out. There is the season's going to start. There's always some trades kind of near the season because whatever situation doesn't work out. And a team comes out of the gate maybe hotter or colder than they expected, and certain players become available that weren't typically seen as available coming into this. There's the December 15th deadline where a lot of players become trade eligible again. There's the trade deadline. I will say you can be frustrated with Rob Pelinka, but one thing that he's consistently done is make mid-season trades, and by and large, the mid-season trades have been very good. I would point to DFS last year where it was really not on the radar as a Lakers target. And if they had made that trade in the offseason, that would have at least been a first-round cost, and it ended up costing them second-rounders. So there is an element of, and this kind of ties into one of the criticisms of Rob Pelinka that I think has been the most unfair. And again, believe me, guys, it's really weird for me to be standing here and talking about this as someone who's been very critical of him. But the one thing that I can't stand is the people who are like, oh, well, everything that happened, it just fell into Rob Pelinka's lap. The DeAndre Ayton thing, and the DeAndre Ayton thing was a Luka recruiting thing, and Jake LaRavia was recruited by Austin Reeves, and Marcus Smart, of course you can find Marcus Smart, he fell into the lap. Listen,
and Luka recruited him too. Luka recruited him too.
Yeah, and Luka recruited him too, that's right. And it's like, hey, what do you think these guys do all day? Like, they're talking, their information, the one thing that I know I can say with confidence, going back to Rob Pelinka's background as an agent, is this guy must be scouring the league for information and figuring out and talking to agents and kind of sussing out what kinds of players will be available in the buyout. Okay, we shouldn't go all in for XYZ because we know Marcus Smart likely will become available because we're hearing that there's not a good trade market for the Wizards and they look like they're trying to, unload some, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just like, that aspect of it, you have to understand, there is so much information gathering that takes place that we are not privy to. Now, I'm not saying blindly trust the front office. I'm saying look at the results and you can kind of just look at what's going on the surface and say, this has been a good summer, and I want to give credit for that summer and the strategy behind that summer and the thought process behind that summer.
Okay, one of the guys that did arrive with this team this summer, Domin, we're talking with Domin Rangula, great Lakers Twitter follow. Follow him at DAMANR on Twitter. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN. Is Marcus Smart, how do you think he should be implemented with this team? Do you think he should be in the starting lineup? And if so, for who?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I definitely do think I want him in the starting lineup. I do think that his ability to be both on ball, off ball, to provide defensive resistance, especially at point of attack, like he provides it might not be a heavy minute starter, but I think that he will fit in very well as a starter. I also just appreciate his intangibles so much that to set the tone to start these games, I think he can play a very, very important role. And I have been looking at Rui only because I look at it not from a downgrade point of view. I look at it from who can I trust coming off the bench to provide value, provide versatility, kind of based on what the way the game is going. And I just look at Rui as that swing guy because, I mean, who are the other candidates? I'm not moving Austin to the bench. Like, there's going to be a lot of. I think one of the things that the coaching staff, I'm sure, is looking at is their rotations heavily, and there's going to be a lot of staggering, a lot of mixing and matching between Luka, LeBron, and Austin in terms of their duties and how much time they spend on the court together. But I just think it feels like Rui is the option here. I mean, I'm open to other things at this point, but maybe to start the season and then see how that goes.
I honestly, if it's not Rui, it would be Austin, and if it's not Austin,
right,
there's nobody else. Like LeBron, Luka, and DeAndre Ayton are going to start. Like that's just a given. I think you can make a case for Austin, like in terms of just floor combinations and certain degree of balancing skill sets, but I think the Lakers, from a basketball perspective, value Austin as a starter. I also think the small p politics of wanting to lock up Austin next offseason could turn it into something difficult with asking him to come off the bench for like the fourth time in his tenure with the Lakers.
And Andy, I have to say this, like, if the Lakers are indeed big game hunting for the next co-star of the era, you don't want to diminish Austin's standing in any way right now. Right now is when you want to be full blown, like, let's go all-star Austin Reeves. Like you really got to push that at the right now.
That's actually a really, really good point, Domin. Last question for you. How confident are you that this atmosphere with LeBron, with Luka, with JJ Redick can bring out the version of DeAndre Ayton that we saw in 2021 when he was actually a pretty important part of those Suns getting to the finals?
Man, I'm pretty optimistic. I was very enthusiastic about the option of DeAndre Ayton very early in the process, just because of I want somebody who's been there before. And one of the things I really valued from that playoff run is DeAndre Ayton was immensely valuable. It feels so long ago, but he was immensely valuable to that team, and he had to face multiple he had a lot of responsibility, and I felt like he did well. And I just think his life is going to be made so easy, and his offensive skill set fits so well with Luka that if it doesn't happen now, I don't know when it will happen for DeAndre Ayton. Like, the gap between him being a $30 million a year player and out of the NBA is almost might just be how he plays this year. And that's such a big gap that if all the motivations in the world at possible are at play here, and I just hope he can regain that.
He is Domin Rangula. He is one of, I know, Lakers Twitter's favorite Twitter follows. You can follow him on Twitter at DaminR, DAMANR. Appreciate the time, brother. This was fun. We'll have you on again.
Love it. Thank you.
There he goes, Domin Rangula. Again, he is a great Lakers Twitter follow. Also extremely funny online as well. He gets the whole social media thing. All right, coming up, as always, We're going to close out the show with a little crunch time. Funchy's got the topics. DeAndre and I are going to weigh in.
Yeah.
There you have it. Plus, one more rap song? One more? Are we taking it back even further? Can we take it even further back? I don't know if there's further back from Curtis Blow. Can we take it further back? I don't know. We'll find out. Coming up next, Crunch Time. Lakers Talk, 710 ESPN.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Hey, it's Mace. If you're injured in an accident, you got to call my guy Jacob. Why? Because his team will hold your hand throughout the entire process. He's been handling cases since the 90s. The consultation is free. He'll deal with the insurance company on your behalf, and you only pay Jacob if he wins. He's got the reputation and the clout to get you the compensation you deserve. Call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB, or visit calljacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Waba Grill is an LA original, so we've got to keep it real. Real fresh with our Asian-inspired menu that's grilled to order every time.
Take me up and never put me down.
Real quality with our marinated proteins like hormone-free chicken, ribeye steak, wild-caught salmon, and shrimp. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium beverage drink like our creamy and delicious Thai tea. Waba Grill. Keeping it real every day for you.
Hey, it's John Ireland. If you've been searching for an energy drink that actually works without the crash or junk, look no further than Pro Baller Energy. Made with clean ingredients and natural caffeine, it gives you a smooth, focused boost, whether you're at work, on the golf course, or just need a pick-me-up. It's energy you can feel good about, and the limited edition Lakers can makes it even better. Find Pro Baller at Costco, Amazon, and select convenience stores today. Try it and see why champions choose clean energy.
I said a hip hop, the hip it to the hip hop. You don't stop the rocker to the bang bang boogie. Say up jump
Challenge
to the rhythm of the boogie beat.
Lofted. Challenge accepted by one young DeAndre Hawkins and one older but still spry Michael Funchess. Said take it back further. They took it back further. There you have it. Breaks. These are the breaks. And this is Crunch Time on Lakers Talk. Funchy's got the topics. DeAndre and I are going to weigh in. What you got for us, Funchy?
All right, first of all, we got to, say R.I.P. to Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Theo from the Cosby Show.
How crazy is that? He was in Costa Rica?
Yeah, and it was, I guess, in the ocean and got caught by a current and, drowned.
It's just, I believe he's 54 years old.
Yeah, yeah. But I grew up watching the Cosby Show, and I still watch it to a degree,
I absolutely, the entire country, like if you were of our rough age range, we all grew up watching
it was like number one in the country for like years.
The Cosby Show was.
The Nielsen ratings?
Huge. And he was so funny on that show as Theo. He was absolutely hilarious. He returned for like a 2 or 3 episode role, or not returned, but he appeared seemingly kind of out of nowhere from my perspective on Sons of Anarchy.
Wow, yeah, that's right.
He was part of the Grim Bastards. He was part of the Grim Bastards.
That's a show I've never seen. I got to go back and watch it.
I love Jorge and I.
I know.
I love Sons of Anarchy. We always are throwing texts back and forth about it, but Malcolm Jamal Warner played like a 2 or 3, I think, episode arc as one of the members of the Grim Bastards. They were a black motorcycle gang that they were allies of the Sons, and their leader, I forgot the actor's name, but he is, I think, maybe best remembered as the young teacher that Morgan Freeman fires, then has to rehire in
Darnell.
That
Mr. Darnell.
Yep, that threatens to kick Morgan Freeman's ass. Like he's been a great working actor.
He's been around forever, man.
For decades, man. Really, I'm blanking on his name, and I apologize, but he is a great actor who's been around for a while. And
he's the one that cheated on Angela Bassett in Waiting to Exhale.
Yes, which is, by the way, it's a movie. Like the idea of I'm going to step out on Angela Bassett in 1995. You fool. You absolute fool.
But going back to Malcolm Jamal Warner, my favorite episode of The Cosby Show is when he bought the shirt.
Oh, the shirt.
The Gordon Gartrell shirt. And it was too expensive for him to have, so they made him take it back. And then Denise, his sister, was like, I can make you an exact replica. Mm-hmm. And it just turned out to be just
Denise
really bad.
Played by
Lisa Bonet.
Lisa Bonet.
And
Gordon Gartrell. This is the shirt.
Yes, Gordon Gartrell. This is the shirt.
Oh, God, man, that show. I mean, I know all of the waves arms around that comes with Bill Cosby now. Like, I get all that. I'm not trying to push it to the side. I'm just saying, in a vacuum, that show was so good.
Yes, it was
so
good.
So funny. And
all right, let's go on to something more like lighter. I saw this little Twitter exchange you had today about what movie is better, Speed or Point Break?
Yes.
And I don't know. I am just mad that you picked Speed.
Well, okay, my
and I could see why you did it.
My response was, and I love both movies.
I'm sorry, DeAndre. The adults in the room are talking right now.
Pretty much.
DeAndre's, I don't know nothing about no Point Break or no Speed.
I do not know.
No, you don't even know what we're talking about.
I do not know.
I love both movies. I saw Point Break last night at the New Beverly.
Really?
My
Nice.
daughter is in a big 80s, early 90s thing right now, and in particular, she loves Swayze. So I took her to Point Break along with my wife, and I think this is Swayze's best role. Like, I think
Bodie, man.
He's so great.
Told you, so
as Bodie.
poetic.
Oh, he's so awesome. And I love Point Break. So this is not me slighting Point Break. Again, I went and saw it last night.
That's 2, Utah. 2.
But I think Speed has a better script.
You know what? Thinking about that after seeing your statement, Speed does have a better script.
It's a better script. I think they're both great action movies. Like, they're both really, really well made. Like, there's a visceral also piece of Point Break that is amazing. Like, especially seeing it on a big screen like I did last night. But I think Speed is the tighter, better constructed movie. Like Johnny Utah, let's just say there are some plot contrivances with a lot of his decisions.
Of course.
Even as a rookie FBI agent, he makes some inexplicably stupid decisions. But what I will give Point Break, of the two movies, Swayze as Bodie is the most memorable character in either movie.
That's right.
Point Break has that.
That is right. So this is a basketball show, and CP3 signed with the Clippers. You signed with the Clippers.
Yep.
He's back.
They're bringing him back. You think it's going to be his retirement tour?
I
CP3
would hope it is,
tour?
man. I would hope it is, but what do you think? Clippers better, worse with CP3?
Chris Paul's track record, man, is that teams get better when he's there. Like, it's just the truth, man. Chris Paul, after a while, he wears on teammates. Like, the little general thing will get on people's nerves.
I've heard things.
But his teams get better when he's there. Like, I know Chris Paul doesn't have a ring, but Chris Paul's teams win. They generally win more when he arrives, and they lose more when he leaves. I think he will be helpful for the Clippers.
He shouldn't be playing 30 minutes a night.
Well, I
don't think anyone on that team should be playing 30 minutes a night.
Like,
he might be 15 to 20.
Like, they were Lob City, when Chris Paul first arrived. They are now below the rim city. Like, they are.
Oh, no, they got John Collins.
John Collins can catch a lob.
I know he can catch a lob, and I know
Big Zoo can catch a lob.
Derek Jones Jr.
Right.
Oh, that's right, Derek Jones. Ooh.
But before they were more up tempo. Blake, DeAndre, even Matt Barnes, like they were a younger group. This
DJ Redick.
You don't know nothing about no above the rim, JJ Redick. I'm gonna look up really quick how many dunks JJ Redick had in his career. See if I can look this up.
I'm pretty sure he had one.
One? Just one? You think it was
at least one?
I say he had at least 2.
I want to say I've seen him dunk 3 times at Duke back in the day.
Well, this is his NBA career. Wow, you guys were all off.
What?
0 dunks in his entire NBA career.
Damn, JJ.
According to Basketball Reference, and they keep track of this, 0 dunks his entire career. Again, thank you very much to Pete Zayas from Lakers Film Room, from Domin. Thank you to Domin Rangula. Follow him on Twitter at Dominar. As always, thanks to Funchy. Thanks to DeAndre. Thanks to everybody for listening. We will be back next week at our semi-regular, semi-planned time, Monday nights, 6 to 8 p.m., I'm going to take a look at optimism and pessimism for the Lakers this offseason. Andy Kamenetzky, Lakers.